on the menu today?
Ron, I can't wait for you to get back here. It smells great. We have Mike Roberts, the No Name Gourmet, with us here. And this is kind of a different recipe, but very fall-like.
Yeah, I did this for clients last winter, and they really liked it a lot. And I thought, you know, I need to share something that's good for cold weather.
So this is Southwestern.
This is a Southwestern Pork Stew.
Nice.
So it's got some different ingredients in it. You know, we have some soups that have corn in them. This one actually, for the potato component, it has sweet potatoes.
Nice.
And it's made with pork.
Tenderloin.
I want to talk about this. Yeah, this is an actual tenderloin, which is different than the loin. The loin is that big piece. The tenderloin is the smaller piece. Usually they come two to a package.
Okay.
And depending on the size of the package, one of these will probably do this recipe.
All right. So what is that, about 2 pounds or a pound and a half?
It's about a pound and a half of pork. And the other thing I wanted to point out today, I always try to bring something educational.
Right.
I actually brought some chili peppers. These chilies right here are the same thing as what's in the can that we're going to use, a green chili and Anaheim chili pepper for flavor. But also, I tell people that they need to buy their spices whole because they last longer and they smell better. Okay. You can smell that cumin.
Well, I can smell it when I walked in.
If you buy it in this kind of a form, in fact, some stores where they have ethnic foods are going to have them packaged like this.
Where would you suggest?
You know, most of the mega marts have one of those things where there's all the stuff to make tamales and stuff like that.
Oh, all right.
That's where you can find this. Okay. And then get yourself a inexpensive coffee grinder. Yeah. And grind your own spices. Okay. Because that way it also.
And then they last longer. I know I have some bottles of spices that have been in there a couple of years. They're probably no good by now, right?
About a year or more, especially if they're over the stove.
Okay. Of course. And whose aren't?
Cool, dry, and out of the light. Okay. Anyway, the thing we need to do now is I've got this started a little bit.
Okay, so you started this, and what did you do here?
I browned the pork.
Okay, and you have the onions in here.
And the onions and garlic. We're going to put the rest of the chicken stock in.
Okay, so just chicken stock.
Potatoes. The tomatoes.
Tomatoes with jalapenos?
Well, with any kind of peppers. Sometimes I buy them with green chilies in them.
Okay, now if you didn't want spicy, would you just leave that out?
You could just
or is this just a spicy dish?
You could just use regular diced tomatoes if you want. And then we're going to put in 2 cans of regular green chili peppers. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to let this simmer until the potatoes and the pork get tender. And then at the end, we're going to finish this up with the rest of the ingredients, the corn and the beans. Okay,
so with the pork, you basically just browned that because it will cook through while you're boiling it, right?
I did. And what I also did was I made a dredge with flour and with some of the spices. So there's some of the cumin and some of the pure chili powder and salt and pepper that goes on the outside of the pork to begin with.
Is there any risk of those burning, those spices, or not?
As long as you watch it, you just want the pork to brown so that it has a nice color.
Well, you know how garlic can burn pretty easily. Do the spices do that too?
No.
Okay, no.
You're mostly going to be able to. You're mostly going to toast them, and you're going to do it over medium heat because that's what the recipe.
Hey, Mike.
Okay.
Hey, Ron. Yeah. Make a little pork stew today.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we come back, we'll finish that up and then get some more information about what you've been up to.
Absolutely. I have 2 exciting new things to tell you about.
Oh.
Okay. Well, we're excited to hear it.
Okay.
Well, the No Name Gourmet, Mike Roberts. Good having you with us. We're going to be back. We got a lot more exciting stuff here on KJZZ News at